What's up everyone? Welcome back. This is Dan from DHTV and today I'm going to be showing you how to use Siri on your iPhone 12, 12 Pro, or 12 mini. Now as always, there's a link in the description to the full playlist of iPhone 12 tips, tricks, and tutorial videos. So if you're looking to learn more, check it out. Let's get started. Alright, so we've got the iPhone 12 Pro and the iPhone 12 Pro Mini, and we're going to go through the complete setup first. But if you want to skip ahead, there's chapters with timestamps in the description so you can skip ahead to exactly what you want to learn about Siri. Now, if you've never used Siri before, it's basically a personal assistant built right into your iPhone 12 device. And with that, it's going to allow you to use voice commands to set reminders, get directions, read text messages, send text messages, and so much more that we're going to go through in this video. But like I said, we're going to start with the setup process, and we're going to start by using the iPhone 12 Pro, and we're going to open the settings application. Now with settings open, you want to tap on Siri and search. And when you open that up, you're going to see a whole bunch of different settings here. Some may be on, some may be off, depending on how you've been using Siri over the last little while and what device you have on right now. Just for this example, I'm going to turn the first one off because most likely it's off for you right now, unless you did turn it on. We're going to go through setting that up a little bit later. But to access Siri on your iPhone, you can see that pressing and holding on the side button, so if we press and hold on it, you can see that Siri pops up right here. If you just press, I know it doesn't say press and hold, but if you just press, it's going to just lock your phone. So for example, I just press, it'll lock the phone. So make sure you press and hold on that side button, and you can do this from the lock screen as well. You may have limitations to what you can ask Siri when you do that from the lock screen, but it is available to you there. You also have Allow Siri when locked, as I just talked about. If you don't want it to be available when you have the phone locked, turn that off. And then we have language, which for me it's English Canada, but you can change this to any one of these languages that are on this list here. That way it's tailored exactly to how you're going to use it in your language. We have the Siri voice. Now by default it's set to the American female, but you can actually change this voice to a whole bunch right here. So if I wanted to change it to an Australian accent, I could. It's going to download those, and even within those, you may have extra options down here that you can use. So again, we'll go to the American version here. You can see female and male. So if I change it to male, the sound of Siri will be in the male voice. Now, while these are downloading here, we'll move on to the next few settings, and we'll take a look at how those sound and what you can do with them as well. We have the Siri responses. So if we tap on that, you can see that when Siri is spoken to, it'll always respond, which means even if the phone is on silent, you'll hear Siri respond. You can have it set to when silent mode is off. So that means if your phone's not on silent, Siri will talk back and respond. Or you can say only when that command is said. That means that anytime you use that command, that's the only time Siri will respond. So I usually leave it on when silent mode is off. That's the default that it's on, but you have options there. You can always show Siri captions, which means whenever you speak to Siri, you'll see the captions. So I'll give you a quick example of this. We'll turn it on, and we might even be able to hear the male voice of Siri if it has been downloaded. Are there any sports on today?
Here's what I found.
So there you go. You get a little box above Siri that says what was said by Siri. So if we turn that off, ask the same question. Are there any sports on today?
Here's what I found.
You don't see that box. So it's actually pretty good if you do want to read what was said in case you miss it or don't hear it. I'm going to turn that on for myself. Seems pretty useful. The one below that is always show speech. So it's going to show a transcription of your speech on screen. So if we turn that on, pretty much the same as this, except what you're saying will show up. We turn that on. Are there any sports on today?
Here's what I found.
So now you get the transcription of what you said and then what Siri said as well if you have both features turned on. So play around with those the way you want. I'm going to leave both of them on. I probably will end up turning off the always show speech, but it's good that it's there. But let's go back to the Siri voice one more time here. So you can see we have the male voice. We'll tap on them. You can hear how they'll sound.
I'm Siri, your virtual assistant.
I'm Siri, your virtual assistant.
So there was a whole bunch of them. You can play around with it. Use the one that you feel is best for you.
I'm Siri, your virtual.
I'm Siri, your virtual assistant.
I'm going to keep it on the standard that it was set to, the American English. And we're going to keep going down the list here. So now we've gone to the responses. We're going to go to announce messages. What this does is allow Siri to read out your messages without having to unlock your phone. And you can see right here that if you have second generation AirPods and some Beats headphones, when they're connected, Siri's going to avoid interrupting you and listen after reading messages so you can reply without having to say the keyword, hey, you know who. So you can turn that on if that's what you like. I don't turn it on, but it's good if you have headphones. This next option is My Information, and this is based around your contact list. So if we tap on it, it opens up your contact list, and what you want to do first is actually create your own contact like I did right here, and it's going to have all your information, your phone numbers, your address, things like that, because then when you have this information and Siri knows to act on that contact, when you ask it things like go home or take me home or take me to work, if you have that information in your system here, in your contact, Siri can just pull from that and take you and do those things based on your personal contact information. It's totally up to you what you add in your contact. I'm not going to show you that because obviously that's private information, but you could add email addresses, phone numbers, addresses, things like that. So you can set that up here. The next one is Siri and dictation history. So if we tap on that, you can delete Siri and dictation history, and you can read right here, it says delete Siri and dictation interactions currently associated with this iPhone from Apple servers. So if you ever want to delete that, you tap on it, delete Siri and dictation history, and it's gone. You can see the request was received and it will be deleted. That means that Apple is actually kind of holding on to this information, so that gives you some way to delete it. If it actually will be deleted on Apple's end, we don't know, but that's what it says. Suggestions while searching. So this is part of the Siri Suggestions group here. You can see suggestions on lock screen, suggestions on home screen, suggestions when sharing. Now these are suggestions that Siri can make in apps when sharing or when you use search, lookup, and keyboard. So for example, if I'm on my home screen here and I pull down and I start typing up here or using the dictation or anything like that, Siri can actually suggest different applications and things like that. So if you want to modify that, you can turn these on or off if you don't want certain things to show up on the lock screen, on the home screen when sharing. You can play around by turning those on and off. Now we've got different apps that we can use here, and you can see what Siri is able to do with them or what applications have Siri associated with them. So let's open the App Store. And you can see that learn from this app is on. Allow Siri to learn from how you use the app to make suggestions across different applications. So again, it's tying in with those suggestions. So you can set these to suggest apps. If you don't want a specific app to ever be suggested, you can turn that app off. So let's say we don't want the App Store ever to pop up on any of our suggestions. We can choose which ones, but I'll turn them all off just to show you. Now, if we search, let's say even this search on the home screen here, you can see Siri Suggestions already. If I type in App Store, even if I type it in completely, we're getting the Apple Store, but not the actual App Store. Now, if I go back, turn these options on here. Let's go back to our search. We'll delete that. We'll type App Store right there. So you can kind of control which apps will show up in the Siri Suggestions by going to each and every one of these apps and show which ones are suggested and which ones are not. Now let's go back in this section here. Suggest shortcuts for apps. If you have shortcuts set up in the shortcut application, it's going to also have suggestion options for those shortcuts. That's a little bit more advanced. You can learn about shortcuts online, and then if you do decide to use them, you can turn these features on for various applications. Now we're back on the main Siri and search options here, and the first option is listen for Hey Siri. Now that's the trigger word for iPhones and iOS devices to activate Siri, and that way you don't have to press a button, you can just use a voice command. So if you want to turn this on, we just switch it on, and if you've already set it up in the past, you can see it turns right on. Now if you haven't, for example on the iPhone 12 mini here, if we turn that feature on, it's going to go through a complete setup process where you're going to have to say various commands. So set up Hey Siri, we'll tap continue, and you want to follow what you see on screen. Hey Siri. Hey Siri, send a message. Hey Siri, how's the weather today? Hey Siri, set a timer for 3 minutes. Hey Siri, play some music. And now it's ready, and you can see that Siri will recognize your voice whenever you say that command. Now, for me here at home, by saying this, all of my computers, my phones, everything has now turned on and off. I've got a 3-minute timer on my computer. So keep in mind, by having this feature turned on, if you have multiple devices, they all seem to activate. You might activate your wife, your daughter, your husband's phone all at the same time, and it can be kind of annoying. Now let's go over some of the things you can ask Siri to do for you and how it works. So in your day-to-day life, you'll probably make phone calls, check your email, send text messages, and things like that. So we'll start off by sending out a simple text message. So we'll activate Siri. Send message to Daniel Test. Hey, how's it going?
Ready to send it?
Send.
Okay, it's sent.
So now that the message is sent, you can see it actually came to my phone because I'm sending it to myself. What you can do with Siri is once this is gone here, we'll just remove it. If you have any messages, I can just ask Siri to read my message. Hey Siri, read messages.
Daniel Test sent you a new message. Hey, how's it going? Would you like to reply?
Sure.
What do you want to say?
It's going well, just filming a video.
Your reply to Daniel Test says it's going well, just filming a video. Ready to send it?
Send.
Okay, it's sent. Okay, no other messages.
So that's pretty much how it would work with the iPhone. And if you tie in a set of headphones like the AirPods or pretty much any set of headphones, all of this is happening in your ear. So if you can imagine the benefits of having a little set of headphones in your ear, being able to be hands-free in your car if you don't have the Apple CarPlay, you'll be able to send and receive your messages using Siri right from your device and your headphones. And it'll work in that same fashion if you want to place a phone call. Just ask Siri to make a phone call to a specific contact. It'll begin to do that. Now with that, you can use Siri just like you would a smart speaker at home in the same way. So if you need to set a timer for 30 seconds.
Okay, your timer is set for 30 seconds.
So if you have something in the oven or you just need a reminder in a certain amount of time, it'll send it there. It'll create that reminder. You can tell Siri to cancel it as well. Cancel timer.
I stopped the timer.
If you want to set reminders for yourself, you can use this Reminders app, or you can just ask Siri. Remind me in the morning at 8 a.m. to go grocery shopping.
Okay, added.
And right away you can see it's added to the Reminders app. I can actually open that Reminders app to see my reminders. That was one I did earlier. And you can check them off as you've completed them as well. You can also ask Siri to read you your last reminder. So if you wanted to just remember what you have going on. What's my reminder?
You have one reminder.
And there you go. So it'll tell you what that is. And it works the same if you have the HomePod as well. If you're using headphones, if you're using the Apple Watch here, you can use Siri all over the place. It's very similar and seamless between all your devices. Now, a cool feature built into iOS 14 here is Translate. So you can actually have Siri translate various things in other languages. And this is great if you travel abroad. So for example, translate, can you give me directions to the store in French?
In French, can you give me directions to the stores? Pouvez-vous me donner les directions du magasin?
And if you needed to say this, you walk up to someone.
Pouvez-vous me donner les directions du magasin?
Right, and you can send that to them and they can probably help you out or give you the directions. You can ask Siri to check your email, which we won't get into that for privacy purposes. Get sports information, we tried that out earlier. You can ask Siri about the weather, and you can ask in various terms as well. You don't have to say, what's the weather today? For example, do I need a jacket today?
The low temperature will be 4 degrees today.
So it's pretty cold. And there's also some fun things you can ask Siri. For example, knock knock.
Okie dokie, knock knock.
Who's there?
Armageddon.
Armageddon who?
Armageddon cold out here. Mind if I come in?
You can ask Siri to tell you a joke. There's also little funny questions you can ask Siri to get these really cool responses. Christmas is coming up. Where's Santa right now?
He's at the North Pole. I can see his house from the cloud.
How many days until Christmas?
It's 30 days until then.
Now, I do have a video of 60 funny things you can ask Siri. It's pretty good. A lot of fun things that you can do with Siri as well. I'll link that in the description. But let's get to more productive and useful ways Siri can help you throughout your day-to-day. So if you have smart devices, for example, a smart plug, smart light bulb, smart switch, or anything like that in your home, you can connect them with the Home app or with your own individual apps. And then all you have to do is activate Siri and say, turn off the lights or turn off the family room light. And you can do this from home. You can do this from out of the area. That way you can always control what's going on in your house. And I actually use these little plugs all over the house. I have a few light switches from different brands. I'll link you to some of the ones I use in the description as well. It really makes things a lot easier when you're at home, just in case you forget to leave lights on, being able to turn them off right from your phone, and you can use Siri at the same time. A cool feature also built into the phone is to ask Siri to remember where you parked your car. You can just tell Siri to remind me where I parked my car, and then later when you're trying to find your car, you can then ask Siri, where's my car? It'll pull up a little map where your car is. That way you can follow it on the map and find the location of your car. If you need to quickly decide something, you can always ask it to flip a coin. Flip a coin.
It's tails.
Just like that. Now, the phone is designated to your name. As I showed you earlier, your contact name, you saw mine was Daniel. You can ask Siri to call you whatever you want. Siri, call me King.
You would like me to call you King?
Yes.
Okay, King it is.
And there you go. Your contact pops up and it has a little nickname for yourself. Now it's King. What's my name?
You're Daniel, but since we're friends, I get to call you King.
Math is another thing that's annoying to do, especially when you have to pull up your calculator if you're on the go or you just want a quick answer while you're typing something. I use this all the time. Siri, what's 35 divided by 20?
It's 1.75.
And you can ask it very technical questions, and most of the time she's able to produce an answer for you, and it is tied in with the calculator app, so it is going to be accurate. Directions, again, you can ask Siri to take you pretty much anywhere. It'll tie into the Maps app and then ask you various locations of where you'd like to go. You just say yes. You can check flight statuses. Controlling settings on your phone is also important, so if you wanted to turn Wi-Fi off, turn off Wi-Fi.
I may stop working if you turn Wi-Fi off. Should I go ahead and turn off Wi-Fi?
Yes.
Okay, Wi-Fi is now off.
Tying in with this, you can see that now we're on LTE. You may lose functionality, but obviously you can use LTE with Siri as well. So even if you're on the go, we can turn Wi-Fi back on. Turn on Wi-Fi.
Okay, Wi-Fi is now on.
And there it is. And you can also turn off your Bluetooth, things like that. You can check various facts as well. Who starred in Armageddon?
Which one? Armageddon features Bruce Willis, Billy Bob Thornton, Ben Affleck, and others.
There you go. You can pull up information like that. If you're having a debate with someone, you can ask the question to Siri. She'll pull it up using Google or the internet or Wikipedia and things like that. If you're trying to listen to a song at any time, if music's playing, you can have Siri try to figure it out. What song is this? Obviously, for copyright purposes, we're not going to play music at the time, but she'll be able to do that for you. And there's a whole bunch of things you can do with Siri. Open specific applications. Open the camera app. And just like that, the camera app is open. There is just so many things you can do with Siri, and it's just a matter of playing around with it, asking it questions, and seeing what it can do. And at any time, you can always ask Siri, what can you do for me? What can you do?
I'm here to help. Get to know Siri at apple.com.
So you can always open that up right here. It'll give you a brief rundown of what Siri can do for you on various devices. Make a call, send messages, find information, directions, play music. That's another thing. If you use the Apple Music app, you can connect it as well. Shortcuts, if you use shortcuts on your phone, you can have Siri activate those shortcuts for you. Now, tying into Siri is some extra features as well. So we're going to open our settings application and we're going to open the accessibility section here. Now, accessibility helps you customize your phone for various individual needs, just to give you a little bit more functionality. And you can see we've got a whole bunch here. There is one that is available for Siri, and you can see Siri down here. So if we tap on it, show apps behind Siri, That's actually if you have Siri open, then it's going to show an app. So if I activate Siri like this, you can see the app behind. But if I turn this off, now Siri grays the whole page. So if you want it to be able to see things a little bit more clear without having the app, you can have that design as well. Siri will listen to your voice for input when you press and hold the side button, but you can also type to Siri. And when you type to Siri, you press and hold the side button. Siri is going to allow you to type your request using the keyboard rather than your speech. So if we do that.
This is a special version of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. You get the real never-before-heard story of the bear family, and you get to play a bear.
So you can do pretty much the same thing you did with your voice, except now you can use a keyboard. So there are some extra features here that you can play around with. If we go back to the main accessibility page, we can actually go back to the top here, and this time we're going to go to spoken content. And there's options here that are going to allow you to have Siri read various web pages and websites to you. So you can have speak selection enabled. And when we do that, whenever you highlight something, you can use an option that says speak to read what's on the page. So we're on Siri's support page here, and let's just say we wanted to highlight this text here, and we want Siri to read it. So we highlight it, we get the little options up here, we can tap speak, and Siri's going to read what's highlighted.
Siri can help you do the things you do every day. And on any of your Apple devices, all you have to do is ask.
And that works with pretty much any website where you can highlight text, or anything you write where you highlight text as well. Now back in the settings, you can also have the speak screen enabled, which is going to mean that all you have to do is swipe down with 2 fingers from the top of the screen, and it's going to read that content. So we're back on another web page here. If we swipe down with 2 fingers, like so.
Global Nav Open Menu Apple. Shopping bag. How Hey Siri works with multiple devices. Learn how a device responds.
You can pause, you can skip, you can fast forward to add it to 2 times.
To Hey Siri when there are multiple nearby devices that support this feature, which device responds to Hey Siri? When you say Hey Siri near multiple devices that support.
And it gives you that whole option to do that as well. The only thing is, if you accidentally do that, Siri's going to start talking. That's why I traditionally just leave speak selection on. That way it gives me a little bit more control. Again, in this same place here, you can choose specific voices, how it's going to work when you use that specific option. And like I said, I traditionally use the Siri Female United States. If you tap on it, you can use all these different options here as well. And you can see there's different names, and even some have enhanced modes. So for example, Samantha, you can see that there's an enhanced version. So regularly it sounds like this.
Hello, my name is Samantha.
When you tap the enhanced,
Hello, my name is Samantha.
it sounds more human rather than so much robotically translated there. But I traditionally just leave it to the Siri Female.
Hello, my name is Siri.
And that works for me. And like I said, all of these features are available pretty much on all the iPhones. They don't necessarily have to be with iOS 14. A lot of them work with older versions as well. And I'm just going to open the messaging app here. We can actually use dictation in messages. So if I just tap in that box, you can see we have a little microphone down here. And whenever you see this, you can tap and say things and use the dictation option. If you get this notification, you can choose to learn more, not now, or enable dictation. Obviously, we're going to enable it. Hey, just testing out the dictation feature using the messaging app. All right. And there you go, you can send that out as well. And that's another way you can actually write notes, write stories, and it's very good. So you're going to use things like, hey, how's it going? Question mark to add the question mark, and it makes it easier. Now, a more advanced feature with Siri is to use location-aware reminders, and that ties in with your reminders app. So basically what it's going to do is remind you at certain points. So let's say you're out and you want to be reminded to feed the dog when you get home. You can tell Siri to remind you to feed the dog when you get home. And as long as you have location services set up, it'll be able to remind you when you get to that location. So as you get more familiar with how all this works, you can start using those more advanced features at the same time. Now, of course, I may not have covered everything here, but this is how to use Siri with the iPhone 12, iPhone 12 Pro, or iPhone 12 mini. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment box below. As I said earlier, there's a link in the description to tons of iPhone tips, tricks, and tutorial videos, a whole playlist series. So definitely check that out and share this video to your friends on social media, as it may help them as well. Now, if I missed anything here, let me know in the comments. It helps me, it helps everybody else as well. And as you go through and use this feature with your iPhone and your iOS devices, you're definitely going to find that you're able to do a lot more quicker, and you're not going to forget as many things. Just setting a timer for your oven and knowing that you don't have to remember looking at a clock is already just good in general with these phones. And like I said, you can have a lot of fun with them, make jokes, especially if you're bored. So check out those videos in the description as well. As always, if you guys enjoyed the video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification box so you're notified when I post new videos. I also have a Patreon campaign going on, so if you want to help support me and the videos on this channel, you can check out that link. It's really appreciated. As always, I will see you guys in the next one.